Part 3. Fantasy, I Robbed Millions of Saints. Author, The Dream of a Million Saints. Chapter 21. Gu Qingxiu's mood at this time was extremely complicated. Not long ago, she was a saint of Qingyun Holy Land, a proud daughter of heaven, with countless admirers. Why did she become the little maid in this guy's mouth for no apparent reason? She regrets it very much now. Why did she come to take over this Qinfen? When she was at the main peak, she had been pestered by Holy Sun Qingyun. Later, when she learned that the end of the Lord Qin peak was approaching, she came up with the idea of taking over the place for peace and quiet. It's fine now. The Holy Sun no longer bothers him, but he has directly become this guy's little maid. What are you doing standing still? Quickly pack your things and follow me to the Zhenbao Pavilion on the main peak. As a saint of Qingyun Holy Land, you should know where the treasures are. Especially those things that are beneficial to your cultivation, confiscate them all. Although she is just my little maid, her realm is only the first level of Danyuan realm, which is a bit low. Seeing that Gu Qingxiu was still in a daze, Qin Changsheng urged. Gu Qingxiu looked stunned. This guy, still wants to take him with him to search for trophies. Moreover, what does it mean to be your little maid? It's low. The 17-year-old Danyuan realm first level, is it low? Well, compared to you, it seems really low. For the first time, Gu Qingxiu was shocked. In so many years, has he ever been surpassed by anyone? Whether you are a maid or a disciple, I, Gu Qingxiu, will definitely catch up with you. Suddenly, Gu Qingxiu was full of fighting spirit and extremely eager to practice. But what she didn't know was, Qin Changsheng said those words deliberately, it's just to stimulate her. Predating the saints is just the first step. Let Gu Qingxiu practice hard, and then get tenfold rewards for herself, which is the beginning of long-term development. After plundering more saints in the future, what will they do? Don't do it, just practice hard. You can enjoy the results by yourself, and it will be 10 times better, it's simply not too comfortable. No, we have to start planning for the next saint test target, the more of this thing, the better. These people just said, the Scarlet Demon sect next door, the sect leader and the 9 heavenly powerhouses should also go to the Eastern Sea of Chaos to try their luck. Their saint, seems to be called Murongfei. It is said that she is a charming little goblin, and very talented. This seems like a good choice. Regardless of what the two were thinking, Gu Qingxiu put away the dozens of storage magic weapons in front of her, then flew up and came to Qin Changsheng's side. Although she was very unwilling to do so, she had no choice but to be obedient in the face of power. And she actually had quite a few complaints about Qingyun Holy Land. She had already made it clear that she was devoted to cultivation and did not consider the personal affairs of her children. However, Holy Lord Qingyun kept hinting that he wanted to bring her and Holy Sun Qingyun together. Otherwise, Holy Sun Qingyun would not dare to keep entangled, and Gu Qingxiu would not have to rush to take over Qinfen, and there would be no humiliation today. Well, that's good. Seeing Gu Qingxiu coming to his side, Qin Changsheng said with satisfaction. Then, 2 figures flew through the air, drifting towards the main peak of Qingyun Holy Land. Looking at these 2 figures, a group of disciples from Qingyun Holy Land, it feels so bitter in my heart. That ruthless man actually went to the main peak and looted the treasure pavilion. And the saint was following him, as if she was a little maid. This made the saint, who had always been regarded as, many disciples who regard them as fairies have the urge to die. You, all come together and help me collect the loot. Qin Changsheng's demonic voice suddenly sounded again. The faces of the dozens of Danyuan realm peak masters were even more livid. This guy really treated himself and others as porters and was not worthy of it. Following you, I am only qualified to help you search for loot. We people have never been so aggrieved. But, do they dare to say no? A group of peak masters, you look at me, I look at you, look at each other with a bitter smile, and then they all followed. Many disciples from Qingyun Holy Land also quietly followed behind. They wanted to see what other tricks this ruthless man could come up with. Fantasy, I robbed millions of saints. Author, The Dream of a Million Saints. Chapter 22. Qingyun Holy Land, the main peak. Qin Changsheng was dressed in white, sitting cross-legged in mid-air, playing the piano very casually. Qingyun Saint Gu Qingxiu, also wearing a white plain dress, stood beside him, with a beautiful face, neither happy nor sad. Just looking at this picture, it is extremely beautiful and harmonious. Qin Changsheng is elegant, handsome, and has extraordinary bearing. Gu Qingxiu's facial features are exquisite, her eyebrows are picturesque, she is as charming as a country, and her temperament is as if she were an immortal descending to earth, stunning the world. But looking further down, she is not so beautiful. Dozens of peak masters are working as porters on the main peak. Not only them, but also the core disciples of Qingyun Holy Land on the main peak have also been reduced to porters. Some of their core disciples have reached the alchemy realm, or even the third and fourth levels of the alchemy realm. But so what? Under Qin Changsheng's lustful power, these disciples were unable to resist. In fact, Qin Changsheng was quite looking forward to whether there would be core disciples with the template of the protagonist, who would be so bloody-minded that they would jump up to resist him. But unfortunately, no. In the face of absolute crushing strength, these so-called core disciples also gave in. Then one by one, they searched for all kinds of trophies for Qin Changsheng on the main peak. At this time, whether it is the core disciples of Qingyun Holy Land, the ordinary disciples of other peaks, or the dozens of peak masters, I feel so aggrieved. This guy named Qin Changsheng obviously looks humane, but he doesn't do anything about human affairs. What a devil! You can just loot a holy place by yourself. What the hell is it like to let the people in the Holy Land help you search for loot? But among everyone, who dares to say no? The sound of this guy's piano is simply a life-threatening sound, even though it sounds extremely beautiful now, the scene of his just showing off his power still makes everyone feel frightened. For the first time, everyone discovered that the rhythm attack was so powerful. As long as the sound can reach, it is within the range of the rhythm attack, which can easily kill. This is simply a weapon to kill people and loot the entire sect. As long as you pluck the strings, you can directly threaten everyone to become a mover and plunder yourself, but it is much more effective than other combat skills. Half an hour later, one by one, rare treasures, first-class weapons, first-class exercises, combat skills, jade slips, spiritual stone elixirs, etc. were all listed by the porters to the main peak. On the martial arts field, all kinds of rare treasures, exuding a dense light, are so shocking when placed together, it makes the surrounding Qingyun Holy Land disciples look at them with envy. This is the foundation of the entire Qingyun Holy Land. The things inside were what they had wanted all their lives, that is, they could get one or two. But it is extremely difficult to enter the treasure pavilion. Only by becoming a core disciple or the master of a peak can you have a chance. Today, they were lucky enough to see all the treasures inside. It's just, these treasures are about to go into the devil's bag. Putting away the Gukin, Qin Changsheng stepped in front of these east faces, and Gu Qingxiu followed him smartly. I thought there would be something extraordinary in the treasure pavilion, turns out, that's all. Qin Changsheng said with some disappointment. He had just asked the system to select it again. Unexpectedly, this piece of treasure is still unable to enter the system's eyes, including the entire Qingyun Holy Land. There is nothing that can cause the system to pay special attention. This surprised Qin Changsheng. Among them, there are more than a dozen 8th-grade spiritual weapons, several, even 9th-grade combat skills and techniques. There are also one or two that can inspire. The acquired physique is a treasure of heaven and earth. If this thing is thrown outside, it can be auctioned for a sky-high price, and it is normal for the major sects and holy places to fight. After all, physique is something that is hard to come by. Even if it is inspired, acquired physique can also increase a monk's qualifications several times more. The system doesn't care about these. But the more this happens, the more Qin Changshen becomes more interested in the demon temple. None of these can be entered into the system. The Dharma I can only show that the system's vision is very high. And that demon temple can actually make the system care about it. It is obviously something much more powerful than these. However, Qin Changshen just took a look, and there was no study the clues inside. This is also normal. Ning Tianxiao has been able to reach the demon temple for many years, and he can only exert a little bit of its power. And after communicating with the system indicated that the demon temple, it can be repaired. As long as enough heavenly materials and earthly treasures are contributed, the system can repair the demon temple bit by bit. Qin Changshen is looking forward to it. What kind of surprises can the demon temple bring to him? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I Robbed Millions of Saints. Author, The Dream of a Million Saints. Chapter 23. That's it? This devil's tone is really loud. Our entire Qingyun Holy Land has accumulated many years of experience, but he still doesn't appreciate it. This ruthless man completely made me doubt my life for more than 20 years. There are 9th grade combat skills and 8-star spiritual weapons in there. Okay. You're here, that's it? It has always been my dream to have a high-quality combat skill or a spiritual weapon with stars. This guy made a bunch of them, and he actually disliked them. Comparing people to each other is so annoying. Qin Changshen's words just now were heard by many Qingyun Holy Land disciples, and they were on the verge of collapse again, almost vomiting blood. This guy has ferocious fighting power, and his mouth is even more ferocious. But now, no matter how aggrieved they are, they only dared to talk in a low voice and vomit their bitterness. Those peak masters and core disciples are still useful as porters in the eyes of this demon. These ordinary disciples are not even qualified to be porters. What if they are killed by this demon? I heard, killing them is not a matter of lifting a finger. The name of this sword is a bit interesting, so whatever, just take it and use it first. Qin Changshen stretched out his hand and drew a 3-foot-long sword from the treasures everywhere. This is an 8-star spiritual weapon, called the Great Sun Sword. It has a very simple shape, with the sun carved on the sword's head. The moon and stars, above the blade of the sword, were shining with a layer of blazing white light, which looked pretty good looking. When everyone heard this, they were speechless again. The 8-star spiritual weapon. The one used by Holy Lord Qingyun is only of this grade. It's better for you to take it with so much reluctance, it's like picking up rags. Little maid, you should also choose something that you can use. The rest can still be put away by category. Taking the Great Sun Divine Sword in his hand, Qin Changshen habitually got a piece of cloth and wiped it. While wiping, he ordered Gu Qingxiu beside him. Gu Qingxiu's pretty face condensed, and his expression changed constantly. This guy, she really treated herself as a little maid, and she even helped him sort out his trophies. But the reason that made Gu Qingxiu's expression change was that he was too generous. Except for Qin Changshen's take. In addition to the sword that he walked away, there were 2 8-star spiritual weapons in this pile of treasures. In addition, there were about a dozen 9th grade exercises and combat skills. He could even see these things. If you don't want to read it, leave it to me for safekeeping and let you choose. You know, even though she was the Qingyun saint before, the combat skills she practiced were only 6th grade combat skills, and the spiritual weapons she used were only 3-star spiritual weapons. In addition, there are 2 treasures here that can stimulate the acquired physique. Although Gu Qingxiu already has an innate immortal spirit body, she is very clear about how precious those things are. King Yun the Holy Sun's red dragon spirit body was inspired by similar heavenly materials and earthly treasures. Are you so relieved to leave everything to me? You still let me choose? Gu Qingxiu couldn't help but ask. She really can't see through this guy now. She can't see through his person or his thoughts. What's there to worry about? I just said it, as my little maid, your cultivation level is far from enough. So feel free to use the things inside, just practice well. How about, as your master, you are very competent. Qin Changsheng said lightly. Although what he said was high-sounding, Qin Changsheng naturally had his own selfish motives. He had already figured it out. The existence of this system was just for him to be the bad guy. Cultivation. If you practice hard on your own, so what? Can it be compared to Gu Qingxiu, the proud daughter of heaven, whose cultivation speed is 10 times better? Therefore, even if there are good things, Qin Changsheng will not use them himself, and let Gu Qingxiu use them to improve himself, and he will enjoy 10 times. Double the reward, it's more cost-effective. But Gu Qingxiu didn't know what Qin Changsheng was thinking. After hearing Qin Changsheng's words, the look of shock on his beautiful face became more obvious. Although this guy had intimidated him. But this guy is so generous. Although the previous Holy Master King Yun accepted her as a saint, he had always carefully restricted her, not wanting her to surpass the Holy Sun, lest she would look down on the Holy Sun King Yun even more. And this guy has no defense or restrictions on himself at all. He lets himself squander it. The only thing that gives Gu Qingxiu a headache is, the name Little Maid is really unpleasant. And, how did you become mine? Master. I didn't even have time to choose. Okay, hurry up and put them away and collect all the loot. It was still early, so we happened to go to the restaurant next door, Qilian Mo Zone, for a walk. It is said that Murong Fei-er, the saint of the Kilian demon sect, is also a proud woman with extraordinary qualifications. I just happened to snatch her over to be your companion. Seeing that Gu Qingxiu had not made any move, Qin Changsheng urged him. But his 2 words, in the ears of everyone in Qingyun Holy Land, were undoubtedly the sound of thunder in the daytime. Is the Scarlet Demon sect leaving? You also plundered concubine Murong, the saint of the Scarlet Demon sect, and made her a companion? Brother, you can't stop dying without saying anything surprising. Fantasy, I robbed millions of saints. Author, The Dream of a Million Saints. Chapter 24. Oh my God, what does this ruthless man want to do? Not satisfied with having our Saint King Yun kidnapped, you still want to go to the Kilian demon sect and kidnap the saint over there too. The saint of the Kilian demon sect, the Kilian fairy Murong Fei-er, is a little witch. But honestly speaking, that little witch's talent and appearance are really not inferior to those of the saint. Not only is she not inferior to the saint, concubine Murong is sexy and charming. She is even more famous in the outside world than our saint, and her suitors are endless. I was lucky enough to meet him once. It was so charming that it captivated people's soul and made them unforgettable for a long time. I seriously doubt what this ruthless man wants to do. Do you have such a soft spot for the saints of various major sects? Do you think, with this ruthless character, he would just kidnap the saint? He's not going to loot that place too. Okay, this seems to be the style of this ruthless person. Hearing that Qin Changsheng wanted to go to the Scarlet Lian demon sect next door to plunder the Scarlet Lian saint there, a group of Qingyun Holy Land disciples began to doubt their lives again. The Scarlet Lian demon sect has a close relationship with Qingyun Holy Land. The mountain gates of these 2 sects' holy lands are located right next to each other, And because the Kilian demon sect practices all demonic arts, the monks inside behave unruly and are both good and evil. They cannot be compared with the Qingyun Holy Land. There is no tolerance, and there are constant conflicts. However, because the two sects are about the same strength, no one can do anything to the other, so they have been in a stalemate for so many years, with one going east and the other going west, trying not to look at the other. Before. Some people are worried that, after the Qingyun Holy Land suffered such a catastrophe, the Qilian demon sect will take advantage of it. Now it's fine. This ruthless man has finished looting the Qingyun Holy Land, and it seems that he has no intention of letting the Qilian demon sect go. You still want to go to the Kilian demon sect and plunder their saint. When Gu Qingxiu heard Qin Changshen's words, she was also shocked. She really couldn't see what this guy was going to do. Yes, I suddenly discovered today that it seems quite interesting to rob a saint and loot a sect. So I decided that my goal from now on is to plunder saints everywhere and loot sects. Qin Changshen said with a smile. However, who could know that Qin Changshen's real situation at this time is, a smile on his face, but a tingling feeling in his heart. I don't want to do such an outrageous thing. What can I do? The activated system is like this. It is destined to train me into a big villain and a big devil who goes around burning, killing and looting. What can I do? I am helpless. Of course. Qin Changshen is just casual just thinking about it. After staying in this fantasy world for 2 years, he has gradually adapted to this world, the law of survival of the jungle and strength. As long as he can live happily and not be bullied and oppressed, it doesn't matter if he is a villain, it doesn't matter if everyone shouts and beats you. In this life, you have to be happy with your grudges and be free and easy. I have traveled to this world, and I have a golden finger. If I let myself live a miserable life, it is better to die directly so. After plundering Saint Qingyun and discovering the power of the system, Qin Changshen just wanted to say one thing, it smells so good. However, Qin Changshen's casual words made everyone feel very uncomfortable. They felt their eyes darken and almost fell to the ground. Plundering the saint and ransacking the sect is quite interesting. So after making the decision, go around plundering saints and looting sects? Brother, we know that you are a ruthless person, but do you want to be so ruthless? It's not enough to plunder 1 or 2 saints. Are you going to do this specifically in the future? You're not serious. Gu Qingxiu asked with some stuttering. She felt her head was buzzing at this time. This guy who robbed her, what did he want to do? Is he going to turn the world upside down? Have you ever thought about how much panic you will cause and how many people will be chased by you if you do that? What do you say? Qin Changshen looked at Gu Qingxiu and asked with a slight smile. Although there was no clear reply, seeing this smile, Gu Qingxiu already had the answer in her heart. This guy, I'm afraid he is really planning to do that. Fantasy, I robbed millions of saints. Author, The Dream of a Million Saints. Chapter 25. Although her thoughts were very complicated, Gu Qingxiu didn't say anything more. This period of contact has allowed Gu Qingxiu to see some of Qin Changshen's character. Although this guy is usually gentle, with a faint smile when he speaks. But once he becomes cruel, he is simply a devil, extremely domineering and extremely crazy. In the eyes of others, she is just a little maid who is responsible for collecting the spoils of war. What qualifications do she have to point fingers? Just do your job well. With this thought in mind, Gu Qingxiu began to pack up the loot in front of her. But her heart was always in ups and downs. Will I have to follow this guy from now on? He is crazy about plundering saints everywhere and looting sects. You have to follow too? What kind of journey would that be? I don't know why, but thinking of this, Gu Qingxiu is still looking forward to it. This made her a little confused. What's wrong with me? He was obviously coerced by this demon, but why? He seemed to accept his fate. This is not my character. Although there are a lot of trophies, with the storage magic weapon, they can be stored very quickly. Not long after, Gu Qingxiu had finished packing, and she had hundreds of storage instruments in her hand, which were filled to the brim. Okay, let's go to Qilian Mo sect together. Qin Changshen waved his hand, grabbed Gu Qingxiu's slender waist, and flew in the direction of the Scarlet Demon section. Gu Qingxiu's beautiful face couldn't help but flash a blush again. This guy, again, hug yourself. Although I have been coerced by you, but, don't you know the difference between men and women? She even began to worry, whether this guy might have other ideas. The little slave girl, in the world for many disciples of aristocratic families, the little slave girl also has another role, to warm the bed. Thinking of this, Gu Qingxiu's mind became even more confused. I wouldn't want to warm the bed for this devil too. But Qin Changshen didn't think of this. More, he just wants to fly faster. He can't wait to plunder the Saint Murong Fair of the Scarlet Demon section. After the plunder is successful, to what extent will his cultivation and combat power be improved? Oh my god, he can't really go. Obviously, it's true, this ruthless man is so cruel. The saint was desecrated by him again. Oh, forget it, what qualifications do we have to say this? The Holy Land has been looted. I really want to see how this guy is going to plunder the Red Demon sect. I want to go too. Let's follow quietly, and watch from a distance, it should be fine. It should be no problem, we little shrimps, we don't even bother to kill them. When a group of people saw Qin Changshen and Gu Qingxiu flying towards the direction of the Scarlet Demon sect, they were shocked and curious. Then, a group of disciples from the Qingyun Holy Land also followed quietly. Including those dozens, after finishing their work as porters, the Peak Master couldn't help but fly in the direction of the Scarlet Demon sect. His Qingyun Holy Land had been ruined by that guy. They wanted to see if the Scarlet Demon sect was there again. No matter what we will go through, maybe we can still find some balance in our hearts. It feels very uncomfortable for us to be robbed. You have also been robbed, well, we don't feel so uncomfortable. The Scarlet Lian Demon sect is located on the west side of the Qingyun Holy Land, between the Scarlet Lian Mountains. Looking from a distance, the black demonic energy lingering over the entire Scarlet Lian Demon sect is very different from the Qingyun Holy Land opposite where the holy light soars into the sky. Those demonic energies were emanated from the mountain protecting formation of the Scarlet Demon sect. It is said that if ordinary people are exposed to a trace of this kind of demonic energy, their consciousness will be confused, they will fall into a state of confusion, and then directly coma and die. Even monks who are in the body tempering realm or even the alchemy realm do not dare to have too much contact with them, otherwise these demonic energies will corrode their mind and true energy, causing their cultivation to regress at best, or turning into a walking corpse at worst. Holding Gu Qingxiu's slender waist, Qin Changshen came through the air and looked at the Qilian demon sect from a distance, feeling quite happy in his heart. If it hadn't been for the old man bringing him into the Qingyun Holy Land 2 years ago. Even if he activated the system, it would still be very difficult to rob the Qingyun Saint. After all, Qingyun Holy Land also has a mountain protecting formation, and even the mighty powers of the Qi-Si realm cannot break through it with brute force. If I can't break through from the inside, plunder Gu Qingxiu immediately, and increase my strength tenfold, how can I compete with the major peak masters of Qingyun Holy Land? As for now, the activation token for the Qingyun Holy Land mountain protection formation is in Qin Changshen's storage ring. He wants to go in, no one can stop him. The same is true for the mountain protecting formation of the Scarlet Demon sect. Therefore, if Qin Changshen wants to plunder the Qilian Saint, he must find a way to get in from the direction of the mountain gate. Not long after, 2 figures descended from the sky and landed in front of the mountain gate of the Scarlet Demon sect. At the entrance of a dark Grand Canyon, a black stone mountain gate hundreds of feet high stood there. On the huge stone pillars on both sides, black demonic energy was breathing, and two lifelike black demonic dragons were entangled on them. And at the mouths of the two demonic dragons, they bite a huge jade plaque with 4 characters, Redly and Demonic Sect. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I Robbed Millions of Saints. Author, The Dream of a Million Saints. Chapter 26. The mountain gate of this demon sect is much more powerful and domineering than the regular mountain gate of your Qingyun Holy Land. Not bad, not bad, it suits my taste. Looking at the mountain gate of the Red Lian demon sect, Qin Changsheng couldn't help but admire. Gu Qingxiu on the side, hearing Qin Changsheng's words, a look of helplessness flashed across her beautiful eyes. You are just a big devil, this devil zone certainly suits your taste. Although the skills you practice seem to be orthodox skills, your behavior is more domineering and fierce than the demon cultivator. In addition, what do we call Qingyun Holy Land? Aren't you also Qingyun? A disciple of the Holy Land? But after thinking about it, Gu Qingxiu felt something was wrong. He had not formally worshipped in the Qingyun Holy Land. After being led back by the Lord of Qinfen, he had his bone age measured and found that he was already 17 years old, past the optimal age for cultivation. At his age, no one will care about him anymore. Moreover, Holy Lord Qingyun has long given an order that as long as the peak master of Qin Peak dies, he will be expelled, because he is not qualified to worship in Qingyun Holy Land. Thinking of this, Gu Qingxiu, I can somewhat understand what this guy did. If it were me, I probably wouldn't have any feelings for people who don't approve of me. But, what would happen if Holy Lord Qingyun comes back and learns the truth of the matter? How do you feel? The guy who you think is not qualified to join the Holy Land and wants to be kicked out, but he single-handedly fought against dozens of peak masters and looted all his Qingyun Holy Land. Who dares to wander around the door of my demon sect, seeking death? Just when Gu Qingxiu's mind was filled with thoughts, a loud shout came from the mountain gate of the Scarlet Lian demon section. Then, several fierce-looking demon sect disciples walked out of it, with a few pairs of eyes on Qin. After sweeping over Changsheng's body, everything fell on Gu Qingxiu's body. So juicy, such a pretty girl. Why do I seem to have some impression of this woman? Can't remember where I saw it. It doesn't matter whether you've met him or not, this is not just a gift for our brothers, it's just the right thing to bring them into our demon sect. Several demon sect disciples were stunned by Gu Qingxiu's beauty and said with evil smiles on their faces. As for Qin Changsheng, they simply ignored him. Such a young guy, they pinched countless people to death every year. However, bang, 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 bang. After a few soft sounds, several demon sect disciples didn't even react and turned into a ball of blood mist. Only the last person was left, standing in a cloud of blood mist, covered in blood. That is all the blood of his fellow disciples. The few people who were chatting and laughing with him just now were preparing to draw Gu Qingxiu into the demon sect. Now there are only pieces of meat and bones left on the ground. My little maid, only I can tease you, aren't you looking for death? Qin Changshen's faint voice came. Hearing these words, Gu Qingxiu's beautiful eyes were speechless again, and the blush appeared on her face again. What do you mean, only you can tease? Was it you who killed them? The only remaining disciple of the demon sect, his eyes were wide open and he was stammering. He didn't know what to say. Hearing Qin Changshen's words, he concluded that this person should be the one who killed his fellow disciples without a doubt. But, he didn't even see what this guy did. What kind of existence was this young man who was ignored by them just now? He just blew up several of his classmates with the thought. You, who are you? Do you know, This, what kind of place is this? How dare you attack our demon sect disciples? After calming down for a while, the demon sect disciple calmed down a lot, but still stammered and asked. Who I am, doesn't matter. What matters is what I do. Go and report to your sect elders quickly, saying that I, Qin Changsheng, came to rob. Qin Changsheng said slowly and leisurely. Robbery. Hearing this word, the demon sect disciple looked confused. Isn't this word commonly used by us demon sect disciples outside? How could someone use it on us? And at this moment, the elders and disciples of Qingyun Holy Land also followed to watch the fun. Seeing those people, the demon sect disciples' eyes widened again in an instant. Qingyun Holy Land. She is Qingyun Saint Gu Qingxiu, I remembered it. You are from Qingyun Holy Land. The people from Qingyun Holy Land are coming to kill you. The demon sect disciple shouted loudly and ran wildly into the demon sect without looking back. Dozens of peak masters and a group of disciples from Qingyun Holy Land were instantly in chaos. What the hell? We are here to watch the excitement. Okay. How come we are here to kill you? We are all victims too. It's a pity that the demon sect disciple can't hear their voices. He has already determined that they are from Qingyun Holy Land. The man came over and yelled the news in the demon sect at the top of his lungs. Suddenly, the entire demon sect became noisy. The Qingyun Holy Land, that dog said, is so courageous. How could those sanctimonious people in Qingyun Holy Land be so smart today, and dare to provoke our demon sect? If they dare to come, we will go ahead and kill these little brats. Yes, kill them. Today, we must fight to the death with those dogs in Qingyun Holy Land. One after another, demon sect disciples rushed out with weapons in hand, preparing to fight fiercely. While charging, they kept cursing, and their words were so sharp that they were simply unbearable. Everyone in Qingyun Holy Land was dumb at this time. There is unspeakable suffering, and one by one has the urge to die. In our Qingyun Holy Land, who did we offend whom today? We were robbed by this evil star, and we still have to take the blame for this evil star and be scolded. Is there any justice at all? Fantasy, I robbed millions of saints. Author, The Dream of a Million Saints. Chapter 27. In the Kilian demon sect, after cursing for a long time, a group of demon sect disciples rushed out with weapons in hand. The person taking the lead was a woman with an extremely graceful figure. She was wearing a black gauze skirt, and as she walked, her long legs and slender waist were looming, all white and delicate, so alluring. It makes people unable to take their eyes away from it. She is Black Widow, one of the 360 elders of the Scarlet Demon sect, a strong person in the 6th level of Danyuan realm. She is the famous Black Widow? Oh my god, didn't she say she was already in her 30s? Why, she only looks 20 years old. Otherwise, how do you think Black Widow's reputation spread? But don't be fooled by her beauty. 8,000 monks died in her hands, if not 10,000. I've heard, this Black Widow hates men so much that as long as a man is attracted to her, he is her enemy. Especially those men who wanted to get close to her were said to have died miserably. Scared me. Did you fall in love with her when you first saw her? There's no way. The women who practice the Stilian demon sex technique are much more charming than ordinary women. The disciples of Qingyun Holy Land saw the figure coming out and started talking about it. Qin Changsheng didn't know that the Black Widow. When he saw this figure for the first time, he thought that this woman was only 20 years old. Her skin was very delicate, and her facial features were exquisite, with a different feeling. The style. However, Qin Changshen knew some of the 360 elders of the Scarlet Demon sect. Because they live next to Qingyun Holy Land, conflicts continue. It is inevitable that there will be some comparisons between the two major sections. On the side of Qingyun Holy Land, a peak master of 108 peaks has been established. The Red Lian demon sect was even more ruthless, directly killing 360 elders. Of course. In fact, in terms of strength, the two sides are almost the same. In Qingyun Holy Land, if you want to become the master of a peak, you must have a minimum cultivation level of the 6th level of Danyuan realm. Others with lower levels are either core disciples of the main peak or elders and deacons of the 108 peaks, etc. As for the Qilian demon sect, it's much simpler and clearer. As long as you are a strong person in the Danyuan realm, you can obtain the position of elder. There are increases and decreases, but generally it is maintained at around 360. This Black Widow is obviously one of them. Qingyun Holy Land? Are you here to declare war? After the Black Widow walked out of the demon sect mountain gate, she glanced at the people in Qingyun Holy Land and sneered. She also ignored Qin Changsheng and the two. Ahem. It's not the people from Qingyun Holy Land who declare war, it's me alone who comes to rob. Qin Changsheng coughed twice and said. What? Haha, did I hear it correctly? This guy said he came to rob alone. This is a fool. Pretty boys are all fools, this guy has pretty features and is definitely the stupidest one. This is the first time I heard that someone wants to rob our Red Lian demon sect members. No, he is still a person and wants to rob our entire Red Lian demon sect. Killing me. But the girl next to this guy is so beautiful, she can compete with our saint. Yes, such a cold and beautiful woman is even more to my liking, I will feel more accomplished after conquering her. Behind the Black Widow, a group of disciples from the Scarlet Demon sect finally looked at Qin Changsheng after hearing what he said, bursting into laughter. The Black Widow's flirtatious eyes scanned Qin Changsheng from top to bottom. You want to rob our Red Lian demon sect? Haha, little brother, you are so interesting. Black Widow couldn't help laughing. But the next moment. Bang, 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 bang. The dozen or so crazy laughing demon sect disciples just now exploded and turned into a ball of blood mist. Anyone else want to laugh? Can you be more serious? Robbery, I'm serious. Qin Changsheng said lazily. At this moment, the entire Scarlet Demon sect was quiet for an instant. Each and every disciple of the Scarlet Demon sect had a blank look on their faces, many of them were covered with sprinkles. There was blood. They didn't know what happened just now, there was someone beside them, and it exploded. Danyuan realm. You are actually a Danyuan realm monk. The Black Widow also put away her charming look in her eyes, and said with a solemn expression. As a 6th level person in the Danyuan realm, she can naturally feel what just happened. One by one, there is something that seems to be nothing. The true energy flew from the young man in front of me towards the disciples of the demon section. Even though the true energy was subtle, it contained extremely domineering power of Danyuan. Those disciples of the demon sect who were only in the body tempering realm were naturally unable to resist it. Stop, all the Genkai in the Danshan was directly detonated, and the whole body exploded. He is actually in the Danyuan realm. How is it possible? How old is he? Why do I feel, he is more like a demon cultivator than us demon cultivators, he killed a dozen of our fellow disciples in a single thought. This is too cruel. The disciples of the Scarlet Lian demon sect became even more panicked after hearing Black Widow's words. They have always oppressed and bullied others, making others frightened and avoid them when they saw their demon cultivators, but today they suddenly appeared someone came out, more ruthless and cruel than them. Fantasy, I robbed millions of saints. Author, The Dream of a Million Saints. Chapter 28. Realm or something, doesn't matter. Just know that I'm here to rob you. Your cultivation level is too low, just call the other elders and your saints to come out together. If there are more people, it's worth it for me to play a song for you. By the way, I'm here to rob you, Saintess. Qin Changsheng still said with a smile on his face. But this time, what he said made everyone in the Killian demon sect speechless and shocked. The cultivation of our elder Black Widow too low? Are you kidding me? Although elder Black Widow said that you are in the Danyuan realm, you are so young, can you compare to our elder Black Widow? In addition, you want to rob our saint? Can you do it? Go crazy. The saint is the most talented disciple of our Red Lian demon sect for decades, and she will inherit the position of the leader of the Red Lian demon sect in the future. Even if you dare to despise her, our elder of the demon sect, I can eat you alive. You actually want to rob her? This is a challenge to our entire Red Lian demon sect. But even if they want to laugh again, these disciples of the Red Lian demon sect don't dare to laugh anymore. They didn't care about Qin Changshen's robbery of the entire Scarlet Demon sect. But the tragic experience of so many fellow sects who had just exploded on the spot made them very clear that this guy wanted to kill them with just a thought. So, one by one, the disciples of the demon sect had their faces turned red from holding back, but they just didn't dare to laugh out loud. Not far away, the onlookers at Qingyun Holy Land saw the performance of these demon sect disciples, and their moods were more complicated than those of these demon sect disciples. Once upon a time, I and others were just like them, disdainful of this young guy. It wasn't until later that we regretted it. This ruthless man is a complete evil, okay. By the time you understand, the expression must be very nice. Everyone in the Qingyun Holy Land was gloating about their misfortune. It seemed pretty good to see others having to suffer through the hardships they had endured. Their hearts, which had been riddled with holes after being tortured by Qin Changsheng, seemed to have recovered somewhat at this moment. My cultivation level is too low. Little brother, you are young, but your tone is quite loud. After the Black Widow heard Qin Changshen's words, she couldn't help but smile. She laughed so hard that she couldn't move away, and attracted the attention of many men around her. Not only do I have a loud voice, my palm prints are also big. Qin Changsheng said softly. The next moment, a huge spiritual energy palm print condensed directly in mid-air. The palm print was 100 feet long, it looked like a palm of a god falling from the sky, pressing down directly. Puff puff. Many disciples of the Scarlet Demon sect vomited blood, unable to resist, and fell to their knees. Even the Black Widow, who was in the 6th level of the Danyuan realm, under the pressure of this huge palm print, put away her charming charm and looked dignified and shocked. This spiritual energy palm seal is the most common Danyuan realm attack method, but it is quite difficult to bring out its power. She could clearly feel how big the gap was between this palm print and her own. This young man can condense such palm prints with just a thought. He must be 2 realms higher than himself. He is at the 6th level of the Danyuan realm. Even if he is 2 realms higher, this boy is still at the 8th level of the Danyuan realm. How can this be? Black Widow, I feel like my mind is a little confused and I can't believe my guess. How about, are my palm prints big? Qin Changshen's laughing voice came. This time, only Qin Changshen was laughing. The entire disciples of the Red Demon sect, including the Black Widow, really couldn't laugh anymore. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I robbed millions of saints. Author, The Dream of a Million Saints. Chapter 29. Elder, poof, help. A disciple of the Scarlet Demon sect shouted for help and vomited a mouthful of blood. He was lying on the ground, but he still couldn't resist the pressure of the spiritual energy palm print. On the road to martial arts, the first layer of the sky is a natural chasm. Qin Changsheng is in the perfect state of Danyuan realm, and some disciples of the demon sect have just entered the early stage of the body tempering realm, which is only the realm of tempering the meridians and even the tempering of flesh and blood, the 36th level of the body tempering realm, plus the 9th level of Danyuan realm spans so many natural chasms that they simply couldn't bear it. After hearing her disciples cry for help, Black Widow knew she had to take action. With a flash of inspiration in her hand, she pulled out a pink dagger. Under the infusion of Genkai, the dagger suddenly exploded and turned into a pink sword shadow that filled the sky. Like a goddess scattering flowers, it stabbed towards the huge palm print in the sky. Click, click. Under the bombardment of thousands of sword shadows, the spiritual energy palm prints in mid-air were finally shattered and dissipated. The pressure on everyone in the Red Lian demon sect has finally been reduced. But Black Widow's expression was still extremely cautious. Although he had broken through someone else's spiritual energy palm seal, he had already used his strongest cultivation, strongest combat skills, and even used his spiritual treasure. And this person was just an extremely random attack. The gap here is simply not too big. How could your fighting power be so strong? Black Widow had no intention of joking anymore, and said with a shocked look on her face. Because it's big enough, it's strong enough. Qin Changshen was still playful and chuckled. Everyone felt helpless after hearing this. Black Widow is bold by nature, and likes to tease men, then seduce them, and then kill them. It's better this time. The Black Widow was finally teased, and she was also teased speechlessly. Gu Qingxiu on the side finally understood the hidden meaning of the conversation between the two. Instantly, her cheeks sparkled, and she secretly spat. What is this guy talking about? Yes, little brother, you are big and strong enough, sister, I have already seen it. I just don't know if my little brother is willing to go back to the demon sect with his sister to have an in-depth communication. Will there be any need for robbery or something then? Sister, the whole person is yours, and everything is yours. Hearing that Qin Changshen was still joking, Black Widow also regained her composure and said seductively. In-depth communication? What kind of in-depth method? Forget it, I'm not interested in you, so let's call out your saint. Qin Changshen waved his hand and said. Entering the demon sect? Qin Changshen is not stupid. Each sect has its own heritage, just like Qin Feng in Qingyun Holy Land, which can increase Qin Changshen's combat power several times. Although according to what the elders of Qingyun Holy Land said, the masters of the Scarlet Demon sect and the 9 heavenly powerhouses should also go to the Eastern Sea of Chaos to look for opportunities. But Qin Changshen still will not take risks. He should be at the door first and find a way first. Let's plunder the saint girl first. Black Widow couldn't help but feel a little angry when she heard what Qin Changshen said. For the first time, a man said he was not interested in her. Although I myself know that compared to the saint, my appearance and figure are a bit inferior, but I also confuse all living beings and have countless suitors, okay. As for the disciples of the Scarlet Demon section, they felt angry again when they heard that Qin Changshen was still mentioning their saint. This guy isn't really planning to snatch the saint away? No need to shout, I'm already here. I heard that someone is coming to rob me. Concubine is so full of surprises, but also so full of expectations. Just when everyone was at a loss, a sound like a silver bell sounded from the Qilian demon section. Then, a fiery red figure floated out from the Qilian demon section. Needless to say, this was the saint of the Qilian demon sect, Qilian. Fairy, Concubine Murong. Although Concubine Murong is well known and has countless admirers, it has only happened in the past 2 years. She is actually just a 16 or 17-year-old girl. Although she is about the same age as Gu Qingxiu, this little girl's figure is more developed than Gu Qingxiu. Even a fiery red skirt cannot block her graceful and outstanding figure. As soon as he appeared, he attracted the attention of everyone present. and after she stood still at the gate of the mountain, everyone felt like they were in a dream. This little girl is so beautiful. The skin is white and tender, like tender tofu just out of the oven, and the cherry mouth is slightly tilted, so attractive that people can't help but want to kiss her. The most attractive thing is her big eyes, twinkling and full of spirituality. It's very different from the Black Widow's beauty and charm. There was no charm in concubine Murong's eyes. Instead, they were extremely clear and she looked pure and flawless. But the more this happens, the more attractive and lethal she brings, the more powerful it becomes, and the more difficult it is to guard against. Just one glance made many people unable to help themselves and fell into her eyes. Fantasy, I robbed millions of saints. Author, The Dream of a Million Saints. Chapter 30. She is indeed a charming little fairy. When he first saw concubine Murong, Qin Changshen was a little confused by her. Different from Gu Qingxiu's cool and elegant temperament, like a fairy. Murong Fei's body is extremely hot, but because she is still young, her appearance is very delicate, and there is an indescribable sense of impact. According to the previous world's view, she has the face of a Lolita and the body of a royal sister. Moreover, this little goblin is obviously a little witch, but her eyes are so clear and pure that it can make people fall for her if they are not careful. However, if you look carefully, you will find that the little goblin's eyes are not that honest. From time to time, a sly light flashes through. It's just that this little cunning light doesn't offend people. It also has a weird feeling, which makes it more attractive. With the thought, concubine Murong's attributes appeared in Qin Changshen's mind. Name, concubine Murong. Bloodline, Fire Kylan bloodline. Realm, Danyuan realm, First Heaven. Combat skills, Level 6 combat skills, Kilian Tungzinshu, Peak, Level 8 combat skills, Boundless Red Sea, Peak, Level 8 combat skills, Fluttering Traceless Body Technique, Perfect, Level 9 combat skills, Demonic Flame Daoshan, Xiaochang. In terms of cultivation level, concubine Murong and Gu Qingxiu are both at the first level of Danyuan realm. Although compared with Qin Changshen, it is somewhat insignificant. But at this age, such a level of cultivation is already extremely unparalleled. As for physical fitness, concubine Murong doesn't have that, but she has the bloodline of a fire unicorn. This is also the biggest difference between Qingyun Holy Land and Kilian Demon Sect. The Qingyun Holy Land's techniques pay more attention to the physical enhancement effect, so when recruiting disciples, the most important condition is physical fitness. As for the Scarlet Flame Demon Lord's skills, bloodline has a stronger effect, so their conditions for recruiting disciples are based on bloodline. Other than that, it's all about combat skills. From the combat skills, it can be seen that Gu Qingxiu is obviously restricted in Qingyun Holy Land. He is obviously extremely talented, but he only practices a 6th grade combat skill. As for concubine Murong, she has practiced one 6th grade combat skill, 2 8th grade combat skills, and even the 9th grade combat skill that can only be practiced by the sect master. Of course, this is also the difference between the two sects. Over at Qingyun Holy Land, the next sect leader has been ordered to be the Holy Son of Qingyun. As for the Scarlet Lian Demon Sect, there is no Holy Son, their sect masters have always been women. The current sect master is also a woman of unparalleled magnificence. Perhaps for this reason, concubine Murong has been trained as the next sect master, and she was directly given 9th grade combat skills to practice. However, her training time should be short, and her 9th grade combat skills are only at the level of Xiaochang, which is somewhat different from the others. Even so, Qin Changshen was extremely satisfied when he saw these attributes. Not bad, not bad. Follow the system's feedback rules. As long as he subdues concubine Murong, not only can he improve his cultivation level, but he should also be able to get 10 times the bloodline reward. Fire Kylan bloodline. This little witch has a very ferocious bloodline. She doesn't know what kind of feedback she will get after she is strengthened tenfold. There are also 9th grade combat skills. What will he get after 10 times? Is it you want to take someone back to be your wife? Wait a minute, isn't the sister next to you the saint of Kingyun Holy Land, Sister Gu Kingxiu? What is your relationship with her? Isn't she also your wife? You actually want 2 more. Although you are pretty good looking, but this is not good. While Qin Changsheng was looking at concubine Murong and studying her attributes, concubine Murong was also observing Qin Changsheng. Then she recognized Gu Kingxiu next to Qin Changsheng, and said this with a smile. After hearing Murong these few words from the concubine, Qin Changsheng was confused for a while. This little goblin is really extraordinary. He actually has the thought to tease himself? When did I say that I wanted to take you back to be my wife? We don't want to be ourselves. Are you adding drama to yourself? You even said such words, and then you said you are still young? Where are you young? You are not young at all, okay. The first contact, Qin Changsheng has already. I was sure in my heart that this little goblin was definitely not as simple as she seemed. She was very cunning. Her random words seemed to be coquettish and cute, but in fact she had begun to sow discord between Gu Kingxiu and Qin Changsheng. If Qin Changsheng and Qin Changsheng Gu Kingxiu is really a couple, if she makes such a fuss, there will definitely be a gap between the two of them. But it's a pity. She obviously doesn't understand what is going on between Qin Changsheng and Gu Kingxiu.